that's what you're doing. And the more you double down, the more you triple down, the more people are going to think that that is, as a matter of fact, you. This is something that I understand because I've been through my fair share of idiotic fucking controversies. Now, I love Oleemi. I think Oleemi is great. I'm excited to have her on the broadcast. Hopefully, eventually, her and Lol Overruled were supposed to come on the broadcast. She's a wonderful person. Does a lot for, she does a lot for criminal justice reform. And she's great. Great. But here is what her take was, I guess, against Anna. I think this like escalated basically because she had been on the Young Turks and then she went on another show, and on that show she said something about Anna. I don't really know what it was, but let's hear what.
Faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. Mm-hmm. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it.
Oh my God, I had never seen this. Damn, she's spitting. Yeah. I mean, this is the truth.
Big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are.
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely right on this. And honestly, holy fuck, I'm not surprised that she's absolutely right on this. I'm more surprised that she's making a big deal about it now. Yes, Tyler, I live in California. I don't know. Anyway, lol, the meltdowns over want to be referred to as a, wait, what is this? You made transphobic statements, and we spent an hour of the show defending you from allegations of being a TERF rather than addressing the substance problems with your comment. I said I felt like they were coddling you, and I stand by that. If you think that makes me a hater, knock yourself out, Miss Mamas, is what she said.
I want her to change her mind and to understand what she did wrong. Because if it's just...
Yeah, this was the show. It was referencing, it's like Matt Binder and David Dole, Mike Figueroa, Blair Zahn, Lance from the Surfs, and Oleemi is on here as well, and Kenny. I don't know some of these people. Anyway, they were having this conversation, and I'm sure that they had like a well thought out, reasonable discussion that went on for a very long time. That's how fucking leftist podcasts go. It's not my shtick. It's not my fucking tease. I'll just say it like that. But there's definitely a market for it. And then of course the one clippable moment is like, oh, Binder, sorry.
So
of course,
but that's not the same. That's not the same though.
I have to say it. Oh my God, I have to say it. I like Anne, but I feel a little bit like this is the coddle white lady hour. And you know why? And you know why? I thought this even earlier because before this, the Majority Report put out a thing too, and everybody else, and I was like, boy, everybody sure feels the need to trip over their fucking feet to come out to defend her for getting fucked when all of the people.
I think the reason why a lot of people say that, like, I don't think that, myself included, say that like we don't think Anna is transphobic, even though I don't really know what the fuck is going on with her now, because like this addresses this literally. But the reason why people say that is because like there's a long history of speaking out against transphobia within DYT. Like that's it. And when you have a long history of speaking out against transphobia, when you have this like one sidestep, I think people will, especially people that know them personally, myself included, will most likely go, wait, hold on. Like, this is not, they're being weird, but I don't think they are, I don't think they're transphobic.
People get cooked all the time. I have yet to watch a video of anybody defending from getting fucking cooked. I've never seen it. I've never seen everybody come out. She has a lot of fucking bad takes, and she gets cooked because she comes out unprovoked. She asks to be cooked. She got up today and she said, Twitter, cook me.
Right.
I have yet to delete the tweet. I'm going to make it clear. She has yet to delete the fucking tweet. She has deleted it. You know why? Because at the end of the day, she got 106,000 like tweets. She said she didn't even get ratio. She didn't even get ratio. She'll be all right. All right. She didn't get like, oh my God.
Like, this stuff, it's just like, it's such a weird situation because I don't agree with Anna's take. I don't agree with her perspective. And I don't think that it's productive for her to keep doubling down. But I've fucking been in her shoes in circumstances where I think is not valid for me to be the fucking main character of Twitter. And I've been in her shoes in circumstances where it is valid for me to be the main character on Twitter. And the thing you want to do when you're in that situation is always fucking double down and be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're misunderstanding my point. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to say it over and over and over again. And it's like, it's extremely online. I haven't really seen anything that she said. I just know her as a person. I've worked with them for years. Obviously, Jank is also my uncle, who I know, deeply for that reason. This is just 100% Anna being weirdly hyper-focused on a singular aspect of an issue she's otherwise fine on. Then people are taking that and extrapolating to her whole belief system. Both are wrong and focusing on the wrong thing. Yeah, I think, cooler minds, calmer hearts will prevail in this circumstance. You held Jank when he was a baby? Jank held me when I was a baby. But yeah. Bringing back this tweet, Jank Uger, I'm going to tell your nephew that you said something fucking stupid. This is so dumb. But yeah. He's just like, yeah, I think it's just incredibly weird that she's saying this shit and doubling down where trans people are being targeted right now. By the right, she deserves all the hate she's getting, to be honest. Does she deserve scrutiny and people being like, what the fuck are you doing? Absolutely. But I still ultimately think it's incredibly unproductive. It's unproductive for her to double down. It's I think it's understandable that people are, getting more and more mad as she doubles down, because that's her only output on Twitter. That's the only thing that people see her as. That's it. But the Emma Vigeland stuff was weird too. By the way, speaking of which, I will be on the Majority Report on Friday, I believe. But here, Jank said, we didn't repeatedly emphasize anything. Anna posted the most innocuous tweet of all time, which now a lot of you are saying was perfectly normal. The leftists lost their shit and started saying it was an attack against trans people, etc. There's absolutely no question about who started this and made an enormous deal out of it. Everyone felt like they had to do a video explaining how they're more holy than us, when no real voter on the left agree with you at all. Please don't pretend that we are the ones making a big deal out of it. And then M said, the repeat emphasis and reaction have been on social media. I can't speak to the segments you guys have done on the show. I'm not trying to be pure. I'm engaging with you, even though it's uncomfortable for me, because I love you guys and I want TYT to be on the right side here. Emma used to work for the Young Turks as well. And then Jank said, we didn't repeatedly emphasize anything. Anna was the most innocuous tweet of all time, which a lot of you are saying is perfectly normal. Oh, sorry. We already covered that. And then Jank went one step further and quote tweeted Emma and said, good news, we are on the right side. Mission accomplished. Now let me talk to you in a patronizing way about all your opinions I need to correct. I was trying to express my love and appreciation for the company that gave me my start and for my good friend Anna within the context of a disagreement. This reaction is pretty shocking to me, Jank. Have a good one. Now, Emma is great. She's awesome. It's just this is not great. It's not great at all. It's really bad. I've been in
bad
Jank's shoes in the past as someone who's at that moment through anger and not being understanding, someone who has basically been the main character on Twitter, and then the constant urge to double down and say, I've been in this fucking battle for years and years, fuck you, you know what I mean? I did that with the Hogwarts shit, which, by the way, I was absolutely right on. And unlike this, that wasn't a marginal tiny issue, which I also openly admit it was a marginal tiny issue in the grand scheme of things, but was something that even trans people, came to understand was ultimately still, a failure of movement. Plenty of trans people themselves were critical of it later down the line, but it doesn't matter. You constantly have a fucking interest and need to double down. In this circumstance, I think what they should be doing as far as their output is be like, look, here's what I would do. Let's say, let me put my PR hat on for a moment, okay? I'm doing PR for the Young Turks. What would I do in this circumstance? I would say, guys, a lot of confusion has caused this internal rift on Twitter amongst prominent leftist content creators, activists, and the like, okay? I want to clarify something, okay? I overreacted to this birthing person controversy, okay? I think that it's not necessarily utilized or deployed outside of academic circles, and even if it is by weird, well-intentioned liberals who are just thinking that they're doing the right thing or whatever the fuck, who cares? It is only and perhaps almost always weaponized by the right to make it like a bigger deal than it actually fucking is. And I, in that brief moment, in a moment of weakness, lend my statements to also further that right-wing agenda at a time when trans people are constantly under attack by way of legislation and certainly online through mass harassment, cyber stalking, doxing. Obviously, this is the least significant thing to hyper-focus on. It's not a tweet. I'm just saying this is what I would say, okay? It's irrelevant. I have always fought for trans rights and will continue to fight for trans rights. And I think that we should all focus on exactly that rather than anything else, okay? That's it. Anna's unfairly criticized by Tulsi fans, and she was ultimately right about Tulsi. So when Anna gets pushed back now by all of left Twitter, she thinks she's on the right side. Yeah, that's the other thing. David Dole actually had a really good take on this, okay? He did, possibly because he's Canadian. It's the last time I will ever give props to a Canadian man or people in Canada in general. Okay. He said, the only thing left to add to this drama with TYT, I think under constant bad faith, TYT has been under constant bad faith attacks for years, and that has probably clouded their judgment to what is and isn't legitimate criticism. This is something that I fucking experience on a daily basis. This is why I literally pop off sometimes on chatters who are being sarcastic, for example, because I have done this exact same thing. I've had to withstand so much insanity over the course of so many fucking years that it basically broke my brain. My immediate reaction to like any kind of misunderstanding is like, oh, he's cynically misconstruing what I'm saying. That's what's probably going on. I am not going to clarify. I'm not going to be charitable. I'm just going to fucking fire back. Ah! Right? It's like a trauma response almost. Okay? Problem is, it wasn't that brief. She sat on that clip for 2 weeks and came at Ole on a tweet that had nothing to do with her. I agree. I'm not saying that she is behaving in a manner that is good. I'm saying that this is what you do when you're like, when you've been burned so many times that you don't know that the people that are like trying to correct you are actually doing it because they have watched your content in the past. They literally worked with you. They know who you are as a person. You know what I mean? It's like the classic. It's like the classic, like, what do you call it? The please turn off your phone. You are not this person. You know what I mean? Like the Grimes tweet to fucking Elon. David also brought up some really good points, additional good points. Anyway, but I would hope that when people closest to you ask you to rethink it, that you would take it seriously. Okay? Also, FYI, there are chaos accounts on here playing both sides in an attempt to cause some larger rift. For the record, this is another thing that happens all the time. It's very frustrating for someone like myself who finds himself in the hotbed of controversy regularly over dumb shit that no one else would ever get yelled at about, because there are entire fucking Discords, Discord servers, and forums full of people who are dedicated to hyping up any kind of controversy, no matter how innocuous, no matter how silly, which, by the way, Anna isn't, okay? It's not as silly, but it is now, because it completely went to a different direction because of her reaction to the ongoing sea of criticism, plus Jenk's involvement in it. But people do this all the time. Sure, Mr. Entitled White Person, teach us what is and isn't bad faith in your opinion. You click on their fucking account, their pinned tweet is, trans and queer theory founders actively advocated for pedophilia. In addition to their attempts at raising women, they're actively trying to target children. This is why they think grown men is shaking their asses about children is a good thing. They are monsters, LGBT without the T. It's like we can see when you're making an argument on Reddit, we see your, like, you know, entire fucking timeline full of like the exact opposite shit. This person said, I think you're extremely fair to Anna Kasparian in the Leftist Mafia podcast. I don't understand Anna's reaction. However, Ole was out of line and tried to unfairly accuse you guys of coddling white women syndrome and try to pit you guys against one another. You fucking click on it, and it's a fucking account that, like, retweeted Rand Paul. It's like a crypto account that's, like, retweeting Rand Paul. Here's a third example of an account trying to instigate chaos while playing both sides. This person blocked me. I assume they're just, like, some brain-broken fucking freak. I found out because I looked at I wanted to see their account. They had blocked me already. Just curious, will you ever speak out against your bestie Anna Kasparian's unprovoked attack on M. Solorin? Just saying, you are supposed to have a spine to call out bigotry and anti-trans narratives. This is what I have to deal with all the time. This is my fucking name backwards, by the way. I deal with this every fucking day. It makes me go crazy. Twitter's full of brain-broken people, and every day it's getting worse. Anna Kasparian shares a cis woman's perspective, a true progressive not ready to hold back on honest, open conversations, but most of the reactions have been just derogatory, harassment, and assuming intent. Jobless motherfuckers sit in Discord, is what I said. Jobless motherfuckers sit in Discord to cook this shit up. I wish I was kidding. They do this kind of stoking into the discourse fires with me regularly. The problem is, I see real people fall for it in our spaces, and it's so infuriating. So it doesn't matter though, because they do it. Here's the point. They do it when there's something real happening, and they do it when there's something that isn't real, which they end up ultimately turning into a real piece of drama. Okay? That's it. Blocked by your own stalker? Yes, I am blocked by my stalker. But this is just one of thousands of accounts out there that do the same shit, me in particular. Now, my point is this. How are you supposed to parse through this? How are you supposed to have real discourse? This is a very serious problem. This is a serious problem in movement building. This is a serious problem when the only way to do movement building is online. This is just a serious problem in general with anonymity online. And unfortunately, Twitter is very bad for this, okay? Twitter is very, very, very bad for this. What should happen in this circumstance is bringing both sides together, okay, and having it be mediated by a third party, oftentimes parse through these discussions in private, okay? I went through this. The reason why I'm trending with even more fucking tweets than Jank, even though it's like Jank and Anna that are in the crosshairs right now, is because I go through this on a daily basis. No, not a debate. No, a private conversation that people should be having, and the public one that follows suit, okay, that follows immediately after. Because, you want to know why? Because I went through this already. I went through this with Jax, okay, who is a prolific troll, but also, as far as I understand, a massive TikTok content creator who I basically agree on like 99.9% of issues on, okay? She pulled an old-ass tweet where I compared, you guys know, she pulled an old-ass tweet where I compared Amber Heard's outfit to Mal, very light in the grand sea of hatred that was flowing in either direction at the time. And that was from like a year and a half ago. She brought it up, and she was trolling, okay? And then I came after her. Or rather, I said Lamal. She responded aggressively over and over again, saying, like, I'm going to find you, whatever. She was still trolling. It's just how people speak on Twitter. Remember, this is someone who I agree with, okay? That's someone who I agree with. That's someone who I fucking agree with. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because that discourse basically turned into something that was super fucking overblown. It was super fucking overblown because I have haters from all different walks of life, from all different parts of the internet that latched onto it and immediately just fucking jumped on the opportunity. Okay? The issue isn't those people, though. The issue is there were plenty of people who were agreeing with her that were not trolling. That's the issue. She might have been trolling. Okay? But there were plenty of people who were not. Now, that's basically what happens all the time on the internet. Okay? That's just how the internet works. Okay? That's literally just how it works. That's how it pops off. That's how it works. She even basically fucking turned around and admitted like that I gagged her, I guess, with the hairline joke later, like in the midst of that, and even her community after we patched things up, were, you know, joking about it. Gag, like, as in, this is such a weird fucking conversation to have with like my audience, because they don't just like really understand. You can't even have your friends poke fun at you and jest without your hater taking it as a serious opportunity to attack you. It's nuts. Exactly. Anyway, how is this one of the gayest communities online, and yet you motherfuckers don't know what gag means? Why am I bringing this fucking thing back up? The reason why I'm bringing it up is because guess what? while a lot of the fucking haters jumped on board as an opportunity to make this a much larger issue than it was, because we had mutual friends who we both respect, people like Sean, for example, Sean the Black in this community, and others. And because I saw, and here I'll give them props too. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. The first moment for me to like pause and take a deep breath and recognize that like this was gonna get out of hand when I made a hairline joke, thinking that it was just going to be received by the individual when I was being petty, understandably. Okay, wasn't Sean. Hold on. Let me see if I can fucking find it. God damn it. Not again, law. Guys, shut the fuck up. You act like you also have PTSD from this when I'm the one who fucking receives all the hate. Okay? Calm down. Like, I don't get why you're behaving like you're the one who's like under attack when it's me that's under attack in the circumstance. And it's already solved. It's like beef that we solved already. Okay? The point is, there's a spoiler alert. There is a positive end to this. That's the reason why I'm explaining it. Okay. 2 things happen. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? God damn it. Hold on. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. Honestly, it's pretty traumatic being a loyal chatter. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I have to deal with it every fucking day. I mean, look, it's just like shit like this, okay? It's like, it's never just like normal reactions. It's like random anonymous people being like, let's kill him. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't matter. So in that situation, I'm like, this is funny. Girls, let's beat him with a pipe. In that situation, I'm seeing that the sea of fucking hatred that's coming my way. I'm not responding in a way that's like, you know, like an adult. I thought that I could bring that energy back. I thought that I could give her the same energy, not realizing that there's going to be, secondary backlash because people were going to take it to an entirely different level that I did not want it to go to, like the racial component of black women's hairlines. Now, didn't she personally tell you to load to your God yourself? Yeah, she told me to kill myself. Oh, thank you for finding the fucking tweet. Jesus Christ. I was just like looking for this. Where is it? Okay, here. So, it was, I don't know how to say his name on Twitter, but it was this tweet that made me realize. It came shortly after, okay, when I said, "Lol, of course not. Also, I recommend minoxidil finasteride for your hairline. I use them every day when it's done wonders for me." Okay, but it was this quote tweet where I was like, "Oh fuck, like this is right. I like this is gonna be overblown, and it's gonna go to a place that I did not intend it to go to." Okay. Now, why? Why did I feel that way? Okay. I knew that, like, I could have just, like, kept doubling down. I could have kept knowing full well that the forces of white supremacy are very powerful. No matter how much Black Twitter has movement and momentum, America is a white supremacist nation. The entirety of the Western world is built on these foundational principles. I could have just leaned into it. You know what I mean? I could have leaned into it and dramatically changed my commentary and would have been like, yeah, whatever, you're fucking being hysterical, right? But I didn't do that because I know this person is not like someone who's a hate farmer. I know this person is just like being honest in their criticism in this circumstance. We got to not do this, man. We've already had this conversation a million times. Exactly. Okay. So that was my first inclination that like basically took me out of the haze state that I was in. You know what I mean? Because in that moment, I was thinking, like, this is a hater, I'm hating back. Okay? This is a hater, I'm hating back. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, I recognize that people are taking this differently. I think it's fair. I think it's a constructive take. I think it's a constructive sentiment. I shouldn't double down. So I stopped. She didn't. It doesn't matter because ultimately she also recognized that this was like getting overblown, getting out of hand. She was trolling. And because we have mutuals, we patched it up in the DMs. It doesn't matter if she started it, okay? And it doesn't matter if you think that it was the most inexcusable racist take of all time. You can have that perspective. You don't have to watch me anymore. If you think that like my past fucking 10 years of advocacy for issues as a white dude is not enough for you to comprehend that like I'm not a racist person. As a matter of fact, I try to teach other white people anti-racism quite regularly. You think that this is the moment where you're like, well, he's definitely a white supremacist person because he responded this way to a lady on the internet who like started a beef out of nowhere and said that I should kill myself, then yeah, okay, that's fine. So I didn't double down. That's my point though. I did not double down. I recognize that it wasn't it was unintentionally moving to a place that it shouldn't go to. And I had this conversation. I love your voice on. This will never be enough to make me stop watching. No, there's plenty of people who never even watch, though, to begin with, that will never watch because they now have this developed opinion of me. Okay? So that's what you're supposed to do. When you see someone like Emma, when you see someone who is aligned with you, when you see someone who is on your side, usually, okay, you're not supposed to fucking double down. You're supposed to recognize that they're coming at it from a place of genuine, constructive, and helpful criticism. Okay? But does that mean that for TYT they basically did the opposite of what you did? Exactly. That is the reason. That is the reason why I'm using this as an example. Because this is what brought me out of my haze. This paired up with the fact that I had mutuals who I respect and appreciate.
Wait, isn't
that
a word?
Were saying that she was a good person otherwise, like she was trolling, but she's a good person otherwise, with some disagreements, because I think disagreements that come from like I think mostly a misconstrued perspective of what I am and what I represent. The conversation basically went, the conversation in private basically was handled, okay? Now, is this still going to be brought up every single time I have an issue that Twitter has a problem with? Of course. But, it is what it is. I don't give a shit, okay? That's the reality. My point is this. This is very materialistic and shallow to get offended over. No, stop. Stop.
Can't figure out that word.
My point is, there's a better way to solve these conversations, especially if you want to do any kind of movement building. Okay? There's a better way to have these conversations. And the conversations are supposed to revolve in, the conversations are supposed to be genuine. They're supposed to be charitable for both sides. And that's only going to happen in private. Let's be real. And I think that would have solved 98% of this drama. Okay? This is going to be the Catboy Collector drama POC version. Yes, this is going to be yes, exactly. People still bring that shit up. Those very same gray name shitters, you understood the impact might have outweighed your intent. Anna never had the moment, unfortunately. Exactly. That's it. That's it. People are just seeing exactly what they're seeing on screen and not recognizing what I'm trying to use as an example here. Okay? He's a good person. He's a genuine person. He's a great content creator. I'm not like when it's the type of shit. This is the type of commentary and critique, albeit light, that should take you out of that situation and make you recognize like, oh, even if the intention was, not supposed to be like fucking racist or anything like that, it's being received that way. And now it's going to get overblown. And now it's going to turn into something that I don't want. Because I don't want my followers ultimately go around and fucking make fun of black women's hairlines. You know what I mean? That is not what I want. I don't want you to think that that is acceptable behavior, which is precisely the reason why, instead of fucking doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, I said, here are the real reasons as to why this was actually received differently by Twitter, regardless of my intention. Okay? That's it. You said people work on the internet and you get so mad they're all trolls and debate lords and you can't change them. That's not true. If I had this attitude, I wouldn't do what I'm doing right now. If I truly was just like, there's no reason, there's nothing I can do, no one's mind can ever be changed on the internet, everyone's a troll and a debate lord, then the internet is an overwhelmingly hostile space, and there's no reason for me to try and change people's minds. And this community is a massive one full of people whose minds have been changed from very different backgrounds, from very different political ideologies, from very different countries even. So, of course, I believe that. That is like one of the foundational principles that keeps me going, which is precisely why every now and then we got to talk about like leftist fighting, leftist infighting, progressive infighting, whatever. Okay? That's it. I'm gonna push back on what you said a few minutes ago, brother. It's incredibly fucking traumatic being your fan. You don't understand. I give you $5 every month. In response, call me fucking stupid and have copious amounts of sex with my mother. You don't know me. You don't know my story. I don't know you, but I know your mom. So yeah, I hope I did a decent job of explaining what is going on and how it got, how it blew the fuck up. I am willing and able to. I have not talked to Anna. I have not talked to Jank at all. I am willing and able to try to mend that bridge. They will probably still have takes that I don't agree with. They will always have takes that I don't agree with. There are plenty of people who say shit that I don't fucking agree with. My opinion is, unfortunately, all too radical for America, even though in many respects it's not all that radical. What's radical is the association with the socialism word for the most part, right? Always go back to that same.
Hey, if you're in the room and you can hear me, let me know, because
my right-wing perspectives. Okay, I'll give you some right-wing politics, and it was just like literally gun control, which is not right-wing at all. People have an issue with the word socialism. People don't have an issue with what socialism represents. Most people, I mean. Anyway. So yeah. It's the case. You can't just grip people into understanding socialism better without actually using the words. I do that regularly, but it's hard to do that because people will immediately be like, well, you're a socialist. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm not. Did you see the video Amy tweeted? Yeah, I know this video, man. This is the #1 video that like right-wingers love using against the Young Turks. It's like the Young Turks policy on saying the N-word with a hard R shifted a couple years back, I think. I remember because it was like a decade of old clips of her like reading news quotes. And it's just like old ass clips where they're like literally reading quotes. It's not like they are like saying it against a black person or anything. Like they're literally reading sound bites. These are sound bites of them like literally reading news articles without self-censoring. Why people saying it when reading a quote is wrong too? Yeah, well, that's why they don't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, back in the day, as I've explained, that was what the news practice was. Exactly. And that's precisely why they stopped. So you're already you're fighting with ghosts in that regard. And I think that like this is please read my other message if you can / want. No. I'm not gonna play the video. I think that it is definitely not a good practice, which is why they stopped it, right? And that's it. I don't know what else to say about it. It was never okay for white people to say it. This is correct. Black people are never cool with that. Never. Also correct. There's no world where the same woman who was riddling off the N-word gets to act like birthing person is a slur of all slurs. Even if your argument was correct, if society can evolve to exclude racial slurs. I can't even read. But even if your argument was correct, if society can evolve to exclude racial slurs, it can evolve to include inclusive language. I think the irony is correct in that regard. I get Oliami's point. I don't think that it was malicious, their application of it. But then again, not only am I white, I also worked there. So obviously, I have a lot of privilege. So that's the reason why I can tell you that there's no maliciousness behind it. But you can receive it differently, because when you hear a white person say the N-word, even if they are reading and reading a direct quote from a news article where the N-word is written, okay, it still doesn't change the reality. It still hurts, which is precisely the reason why they stopped doing it. Good thing your white ass is already in the sitting position. Yeah, I routinely sit my white ass down and I listen. But in the context of like birthing person versus the N-word, I mean, yeah. Language evolves. They updated their policy as a news team to self-censor. And I think that's a good thing. And they should definitely not make a big deal about birthing person, because it is just simply being weaponized by the right. It was a common practice by all media outlets. It wasn't just TYT. I'm pretty sure it was, but I don't know. Maybe. Here's a question. Have you gone places where you aren't considered white? Because in my opinion, Turkish people are POC, or am I just dumb? It depends. I will say the TYT's track record for hiring ended up being abysmal. It's on Emma or notable exceptions. Yeah. Germany is probably the most prominent place that I can think of that is like Turkish, where Turkish people are not considered like a part of the in-group. Anyway, I feel like so many leftists have this insane amount of energy to attack other left-wing people over their language, but are really lazy when it comes to holding actual powerful people accountable. Well, that does definitely happen all the time. In this circumstance, though, I think that the doubling and tripling down is causing confusion for no reason, when like this is the actual perspective, in my opinion,
bad faith
of someone like Anna Kasparian.
They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are. That's all they have. This is all they do. Endless bad faith arguments meant to fearmonger and direct hatred and fear toward other Americans, typically powerless Americans, because it's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex.
So, like I said, why do I think personally that like they double down, triple down, quintuple down? Why do I think they did that? You know, in this regard, because like this directly contradicts Anna's sentiment being expressed here, and there's not that much There's not that much time difference between then and now when she's tweeting this shit. Okay? You want to know why? Because I think that they just have no way of parsing through like legitimate criticism. They also have the I hate the left mentality that I have because like that shit happens all the fucking time. It happened during the Hogwarts saga, right? Where I was actually on the right side, even though I think that they're on the wrong side for the record. Okay? And it is so depressing to constantly feel like the left has the knives out against you. They also, I think, personally believe that they were at the forefront of progressive commentary online, and now you got all these like baby leftists coming out of the gates and critiquing them, and they can't fucking see that as like valid criticism ever. They have an inability to filter that as like valid criticism. The moment that people that are close to them, that work with them, actually reached out to them, they should have been like, oh yeah, this is being fucking weaponized against trans people by nefarious actors on the right. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
What if it's not valid though? You dropped that first tweet unprompted. Is a right-wing grift dog. You said dozens of times that's where money's at. I think right-wing grift is where the money's at. 100%. I don't think that they're doing a right-wing grift. It is also pretty funny to tell me this because, like, I think that they are, like, I'll tell you like this. I'll tell you like this.
That's not what's on.
TYT is not going to fucking gain a more prominent, larger audience by going right because they have been the villain, the number one villain of right-wing audiences.
Jank is just right-wing, so is
a decade, for 2 decades, almost 3 decades,
right-wing tendencies.
Steven Crowder, before he popped off and became this like massive content creator, used to make sketches about Jank. Okay? Everyone knows them as the bad guys on the right. I think it's worse that they are doing this right-wing slant because they're not even doing it for money. I think they genuinely had a perspective shift on the criminal justice shit. I know this because I talked to them, to Jank at least. I haven't talked to Anna all that much, but 100%. Like, I've talked to Jank on this broadcast. I've talked to him privately. Like, they have a crime attitude that is absolutely reactionary.
Yeah, they are reactionary.
Okay? Damn it, it keeps spilling. As far as their beliefs goes, I think they're genuinely held. But as far as like the trans stuff, I don't think that I don't think they have like a legitimately held anti-trans perspective. Only time will tell. Maybe they'll have a reactionary slant on trans issues as well. I would be genuinely shocked if that was the case. Does that make sense? Because of all of this. You don't get to be the right-wing punching bag for 3 fucking decades, okay? And then all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, someone called me a
and the Africans are black, and the alpha males are black. Black, 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 black.
Like, it makes no sense. It would be a significantly more immediate. If it was a grift, it would be more immediate fucking change of attitude to like directly signal to the right. No one called her that? No. I'm saying people are saying that they're like becoming TERFs or they're going to be TERFs. I think they're just like signaling to the right that they're TERFs, that they're right wing, and they want to cultivate a right wing audience. Does that make sense? Do you sense that he was becoming reactionary to getting old? I think that could probably be the reason too. In your opinion, why wouldn't it be a signal for her that every right-wing pundit retweeted her and started giving her praise? I think that they just think that they're right. That's it. I think that this is like, they legitimately think that they're right. That's what it is. They think that they're correct on this. And the original sentiment that she expressed about birthing person is not like an incorrect one entirely, like I said originally, but it's also completely overblown and weaponized by the right. And I think everyone ultimately understands that. It's like, yeah, if women were being called birthing person left and right, if that was a real thing, then people would be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's so dumb. Does that make sense? I mean, Juniper said it best originally. Her original tweet was perfect on this. It's like, why the fuck are you talking about something that like is literally relegated to the halls of academia and like medical context as though it's something that people are dropping left and right? That was her original take on the matter, and she is absolutely fucking correct. Does that make sense? Do you understand? So, what does this mean to you, Jen? They're just like quintupling down. It's just so sad to see. It's so fucking sad to see.
I'll just say this. Okay, I love you, and it's okay. And if you disagree,
I see too much of myself in this picture, and it pisses me off. Okay, I see myself in this picture.
It's okay. If you want to leave, that's okay. Okay. Thank you for being a member all this time. I appreciate it. But in my opinion, what your misunderstanding is, and what you have maybe you didn't see is, so all this kerfuffle starts with a simple tweet, and then at least half a dozen videos from other progressives or leftists online, all attacking us and calling us all sorts of names. So maybe you don't see that, so you think like, what is Cenk so upset about, right? So they call us all these names, and they feel super proud about it, like we are more pure. So then I fight back on Twitter. And then all of a sudden they're like, how could you insult us? All we were doing was punching you in the face. No, that's a right-wing position. You punch, then you gotta expect that I'm gonna counter, right? I don't mean you, kid. That's the kid.
I like it. I don't like this. I'm in the picture and I don't like it. This is me. I'm seeing myself and I fucking hate this. Stop. I want to watch it.
I mean, for folks who are out there, I'll name the name. Lance from the SERPs, he's on here all the time on the power panel, right? He comes out and does this like video about how he's so correct. And, oh yeah, the Young Turks, correct? No, Lance, you're not goddamn correct. Nobody elected you. The polling shows no one agrees.
Yeah, they think that they're not getting the respect that they believe they deserve, that they earned from many years of doing many years of doing this. DYT was called out 11 months ago for the same shit.
Anna and I are talking about this issue, and then we'll discuss. Let's watch.
I'm speculating she doesn't want to say mothers because mothers is gendered and she's worried about offending. Birthing people, really? Come on. For me, it's not even like, oh, I don't want to be.
See, it's not a right wing. It's not like a grift. It's just like a genuinely held opinion. You know what I mean? Leaning into culture wars from the right wing perspective is always stupid. It's like making a big deal about me joking about Latinx being deployed. You know what I mean? I regularly talk about it. I don't say Latinx. I don't, because I'm a white guy. I don't want to come across like I'm super fucking out of touch. Let's be real, okay? If I'm talking about issues that pertain to Latino people, okay, Latiners, I just, I'm not going to fucking say Latinx because everyone would look at me and go, you're ridiculous. You're a ridiculous person, right? But I'm not going to make this the most prominent issue on the fucking planet, okay? It's stupid. It's dumb. Amy Goodman loves using it. I love Amy Goodman. I'm never going to fucking be like, why are you using Latinx? That's the best way to describe it. I think it's dumb, okay? Latine makes more sense. X is like Latinx, okay? It's just like so American, so English language focused, okay? And when I see my queen, Amy Goodman, use the term, I will never correct her on it. I would never be like, my queen, Amy Goodman, you're wrong. You know why? Because I know my fucking place. She does it because... Why did you say that? Amy Goodman probably hates you. Don't worry, we still think you're ridiculous. Why do you have so much hate in your heart as a 23-month subscriber? Dumb analysis for your dumb audience. Like, what happens to so many people that they just like go from like being fucking hyper fans to being like, I literally hate you. Your analysis is dumb. and fucking you suck and Amy Goodman hates you. Like 23 months you have avoided the top of the hour ad break. 23 months. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. What happened? Is it because I didn't give you attention? Like, what the fuck? What went wrong in your mind? I want to fucking study you like the brain of a person who has CTE or some shit. Look at this. Fossabot timed this person out, and then they thought I banned them. Infinite Ryman, Digha, 5363. Sakura Gore, thank you for the 10 gifted. Infinite Ryman, thank you for the 10 gifted. Not exactly KB, thank you for the 5 gifted. Like, how does this happen? Because you fail to keep the same energy for your friends that you do for the right, even when they say the exact same shit. Anna and Jank are morons on this take. Just like you on policing, not hating, just facts. Wait, what? Me on policing?
Dude, Hassan is
Curlytop.com, thank you for the 5 gifted. Infinite Ryman, thank you for the 5 gifted. Justin Dandy Man, thank you for the 5 gifted. Are you an abolitionist? No, I'm not an abolitionist. I'm not going to do this with you right now where, I'm not going to do this right now with you where we like work through the steps where you basically come to the same conclusion that I do as an abolitionist about a democratically organized group of individuals that are doing what you would normally consider colloquially call policing. So we're not going to do that. Like, we're not going to go through the abolitionist argument about how like, ultimately and inevitably, you as an anarchist who believes in police abolition are going to still come to the same conclusion that I have, which is that functionally there needs to be a unit, an organized unit that is democratically organized. You're not an anarchist, but you believe in police abolition? What the fuck? What are you? You're a Marxist-Leninist who believes in police abolition? What? Okay, explain that. No, fuck it. I need to know what? Hello? What are you saying? I need to know what you mean by this.
Oops.
Well, Amy, isn't a baby leftist? What kind of patronizing shit is that? Wait, what? I never said that she was. Why are you misunderstanding everything I'm saying? I am much more on her side on this than I'm on Anna's side. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm literally currently DMing her. I'm literally DMing her on the side right now while we're having this conversation. She's watching fucking stream. Why do you, a parasocial fucking weirdo, think you know the interactions I have with the people that are on your screen when I know them? What's wrong with you? Go back to the fuck. Never mind. I want to hear what he has to say about Marxist-Leninist. Trying to type it, but I can't. Yeah, you can't because you have an insane, untenable position. What the fuck? Have you read up on police abolition? What you described is literally police abolition? Wait, what? No way. You mean to tell me that I understand the anarchist position on police abolition and anarchists are for the most part angry at me because of the way I present the conversation, because I want to make it more colloquially understandable to every single person, because I want to cater my fucking commentary to like the 3 sweatiest polycule members in the commune that are about to inevitably have a very public fallout on Twitter? Holy shit, dude! No fucking way, dude! That's crazy. That's wild. Dude, no way. There's a reason why I'm good at what I do, man. I get a lot of shit for it. I don't expect it from my own fucking audience this much, to this degree, when it's like completely unjustifiable. But god damn it, I know how to do fucking propaganda. If there's one thing I know how to do, it's fucking propaganda. Let me do it. You don't know how to do it. That's why you come here. Stop. Oh my god.
I think I could do it, but yeah, I do enjoy his job.
Don't disrespect the pod. You will be hearing from our lawyer. Yeah, good luck. Capitalist policing only protects property, not people. It has to be abolished. Whoa, no way, dude. It's crazy. I'm glad that you came in here swinging with like opinions that I totally disagree on. Wow. Thanks, man. We truly are. God, I'm glad we got to the bottom of this, dude. Thank you. Anyway, this guy came back with nothing, I think. He just left. He just fucked off. He said, you're dumb. Your analysis is dumb. I hate you. And so does Amy Goodman. So, what the fuck was I? It's simply a disagreement with terms, that problems for different people. Birthing person sounds like you're describing a vessel of human, which is insulting to all the women who have felt oppressed by the language. The issue isn't the inclusion, it's the term that was chosen that comes off poorly to many. I know, but like, ultimately, it's not that, it doesn't matter because it's like so stupid to have a conversation around it because it's not a real conversation to be had because no one is using it colloquially. We're having a semantics conversation that the right is basically weaponizing against trans people. And if you are a left-wing person, sometimes you got to eat shit. I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like one of the less discussed aspects of being a leftist person, especially when you're from a privileged background, is that you're going to sometimes eat shit, okay? That's it. I do it all day. I do it every day. Sometimes I pop off because I can't fucking deal with it any longer, especially when a long-term community member is literally basically saying, you and I are in agreement, but I don't understand it because I'm too fucking stupid and literally reacting to shapes and colors that I see on screen that I personally misunderstood. I'm going to make it your problem. But other than that, I eat shit nonstop. You're going to have to do that, okay? That's it. You're going to eat shit. People are going to misunderstand you. They're going to misconstrue your perspective. They're going to make it a much bigger deal. Just, you're supposed to do that. That's, you know, recognizing your privilege in that regard comes along with that. You know what I mean? Part of the job. Does that make sense? Do you understand? I'll go back to another controversy, the Nicki Minaj one, the bus tweet that never was even sent out, but was weaponized by Barbs to say I'm an anti-black racist. There were black members of this community that wrote very heartfelt messages about it, where they said, we know you're not racist. It was on my subreddit, if you remember. We know you're not racist, but as someone who has like been made fun of regularly for being black, that has heard like the bus jokes and shit like that, it hurt to see you even think about that. It hurt to see you even like think to write that out. Contextually, in that very moment, I thought that was appropriate. But logically, the logical part of my brain was saying, this is ridiculous to get upset at. I'm literally using the same terminology that she's using in her original tweet and when I'm responding to it. Okay? And also, the people that are upset are people that are, 35-year-old gay dudes working at Sephora that have stan accounts for Nicki Minaj. That are currently defending Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj decided to come out of the gay swing and be an anti-vaxxer, and also on top of that, defend Tucker Carlson. Like, I'm perfectly right. But it doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter. Sometimes empathy is supposed to supersede logic. That's what you're supposed to do. Because no one is a hyper-rational, hyper-logical, robotic person. So when you hurt someone's feelings, what you're supposed to do, especially if you think that they are nice people overall, you're supposed to take a step back and say, listen, while I think that I'm logically correct here, my intention was never to harm you. My intention was never to make you feel bad, and I apologize for that. Okay? It's literally about, it's not about like being logical, rational, and being correct. It's about making sure that this space does not come across as hostile to people from marginalized backgrounds. Okay? That's it.
Okay?
Do you understand? Now, please apply that to your Hogwarts take, though. I did do that. I did. What do you mean? I literally did that. You're probably here still to this day and don't think I'm some fucking massive transphobe because you recognize that, because I did that. Not gonna lie, I'm glad you readdressed that tweet because I see people use that against you all the time. Yeah, because they're fucking freakazoids, dude. That's what it is. That's it.
Anna done fucked up. Fucked up.
It's the same shit. Ultimately, no matter what happens, I brought it up today. I brought up my reaction or the way I received commentary and criticism of the trans community during the Hogwarts Legacy shit, literally openly. I said, I think that the posters on Twitter are incorrect, but it doesn't matter. I understand where they're coming from. They're constantly on the defense. They're constantly on the defense because it is impossible to be fucking publicly trans online in one of the only spaces where they can, you know, build communities and have sense of like support. Okay? I said that during the Hogwarts Legacy saga when everyone was calling me a fucking transphobe. Okay? It comes from a place of powerlessness. Exactly. I was the one who made that logic versus empathy comment in your sub on that thread, and it means a lot that it stuck with you. You are a white boy. Huh. So do you get it? Do you want to know why? Because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't change my perspective. It doesn't change my perception. It doesn't change my advocacy. All it does is basically push people away from interacting with my commentary. That's all it does. Okay? And that sucks, ultimately. It gets people to go, oh, yeah, this guy fucking sucks in leftist spaces. And that's what's happening to Anna as well currently. That's what's happening to Jake as well in trans spaces. So the better way to turn around and to deal with the situation would be by basically acknowledging, like, eating shit. You know what I mean? Eating shit and acknowledging that, like, you know, you unintentionally gave a weapon to the right, even though you were advocating for something that makes sense, okay, in your mind, because of how irrelevant it is in the grand scheme of things. You ended up getting the likes of Ben Shapiro, Carrie Lake, and everyone else to fucking use it as commentary, use it as like another attack against trans people. As a black chatter, I critique you, but I love your content. Admittedly, you have to understand that people voicing their opinions is not always hate. I know it's not. It becomes really hard to parse through what is hate and what is legitimate, well thought out criticism, or what is legitimate, well thought out criticism that sometimes is, you know, in the wrong, right? It's hard to go through that when all you see is a sea of like leftist infighting all the time, and oftentimes it's also being hyped up by weirdos who just want to see the drama.
With you, your 12 buddies online, I don't care, okay? And say, oh yeah, I'm 100%, he's 99.95% correct. Oh, I'm correct. No. So don't, look, you want to say I don't agree with you? God bless. You want to say, Cenk, you shouldn't say anything back because you're being rude? Come on, brother or sister. I don't know what your
just gotta be honest. I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are, as if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are. So I don't, Jake, I never want.
They're not gonna stop collaborating with leftists. Everybody, shut the fuck up. It's like me tweeting that. It's literally like me fucking tweeting, I'm so angry with the left, and then, the Kirby JPEG account fucking taking that off of my private tweet and being like, you fucking idiot, you think the left is the same as the right? Like, they don't think that. I don't think that either. But, like, let's be real. There's nothing more left than fucking despising every other person that is also supposed to be your fucking ally, okay? That's it.
I want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again. It's a waste of time. There's important stuff going on in the country. Our personal drama with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
All right, last thing I'm going to say on it, because you brought up, is that I'm not the kind of guy to back out.
Yeah, he's stubborn as fuck. I'm gonna text them right now. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. I was just texting Jank. Anyway. The distinction you made before was great about the point where you should rethink things is when your friends or people you are on good terms with call you out. Yeah. Yeah. When someone like Emma is like criticizing you, they're not doing it to gain clout. They're doing it because it's like a legitimately held belief, and they're coming at it like constructively, and you need to be able to parse through that better. I often have issues with this kind of stuff too, but like that's the one thing that immediately shakes me out. That immediately fucking takes me out of that. If I see like a genuinely held perspective from a long-term community member or someone whose opinion I know is not in the wrong. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to do that. And the moment that you don't do that, you're just fucking swinging for the fences for no reason. You know what I mean? Why would Anna go and like this stuff though? What is it? Yeah, it's like cringe as fuck. I don't even know what that, like, I can't believe she liked this tweet. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. That is like infinitely more scary. Like someone saying fucking trans think is legitimately infinitely more scary to me and shows that there's like genuinely held reaction above and beyond like semantics misunderstanding. Anyway, but of course we're not having a conversation about like their opinion on crime. Okay, that part I completely disagree with. I think they're totally off base on that. So glad I started trans thinking. Yeah, trans think is like such. Again, transphobic people are so fucking funny with the way that they cover trans people because they make trans people sound like superheroes and not just like a bunch of anxious, extremely online coders that just are more interested in like trying to find a sex mod for Fallout New Vegas. Okay, it's like it's so it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Bro, where did that straight come from? Okay, listen, I gotta say stuff like that so that people understand that like it is so entirely specific. My knowledge of trans existence is so incredibly specific that you can't even like you either have to be like hyper transphobic or you have to either literally be trans or be like the best ally. Okay, fuck it. Even Ben Shapiro doesn't know about those memes. You know what I mean? It's weird. Most of us who corrected them did so in the gentlest way possible. My issue is that they were making shit up to be mad at. Like, what are they even talking about? Who's calling Anna a birthing person? This is just a hypothetical she made up and is now rating against all our allies and friends. I just don't get it. I think that I told you, I think that they feel like they don't get the respect that they feel they deserve by being like the fucking, by being the punching bag of like every fucking right-wing freak for like almost past 30 years now. So now when they see people now when they see people from the left criticize them, they're like, what the fuck? Like, we made you. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. It's not logical. One other critique I think we're kind of avoiding here, and I know you've critiqued Cenk on this in the past. When it comes down to it, Cenk and I think Anna are, as well as are very much still capitalists. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Of course. What do you mean? I'm not avoiding it. I fucking debated him on it on his network back when I had a show on his network. Okay. I tweeted a joke, okay? I'm sure this will not be misconstrued and people will go crazy. I know you've critiqued them on, but I think it's sometimes informed some of the other shit takes being lived. It bleeds over in other areas, including culture ones. Yeah, I think so. Anyway. Yeah, I subbed and complained in my comment about Anna's take, but of course they didn't read it, and everyone in chat ignored my critique and just went on to agree with her. Pisses me off. Anna thinks women can't be as strong as men in physical tests, can't be firefighters. I like you were discussing what a lame take that is in a military context recently. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a silly take. It's just entirely dependent on who the fuck we're talking about. Is being called a birthing person that offensive? Most women in my life call me fuck machine, and it's maybe a little dehumanizing to be reduced to my elite sexual performance, but really not that big of a deal. Yes! Oh, that's a banger, Striker. Good shit. That's a good, yes. I got nothing. No notes. No notes. That's a 10-10. No notes. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Striker is a troll in this community. It's very good. I will never VIP him because everybody knows when I VIP someone, they go away. So honestly, if you're a birthing person and you're not putting up enough numbers to get a mother heroin medal from the USR like my mom, are you even trying? Wait, really? For bearing and raising a large... Dude, this was one of the most fun aspects of the USSR. That, like, they would give these, like, random fucking insane medals. Like, for example, I think it was Alexa's boy's father or grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, got a medal from the USSR for... Or not USSR, but got a medal from... got, like, a communist medal for never taking a sick day in his like 40 years of work or something. Like it's just so funny. Like it's just like random weird novelties like this that I personally love. It's like I love that. Oh, are you gonna show cannabis one? Yeah, this is the hemp grower medal. Yeah. My grandmother got a medal for having more than 5 children. Yeah. I love that. My fiance's grandma in communist Romania had 25 kids and got a town named after her. I love, dude, this is the principle behind like Xbox achievements, okay? This is literally like, it's the same exact thing that motivates gamers. If anything, gamers should understand this better than anybody else. It's like completely fucking stupid, okay? It's just a recognition and it's everything to you. And you like, it's a very...
I don't know, getting a town named after you is a pretty big deal.
It's a very different incentivization structure, and I love it. Zaza Smoker, the Zaza Smoker Award. Crazy how the admin side of the USR was able to keep up with shit like that. Yeah, I know. They deserved a lot of patch notes. Some of it came too, some of it came too late, right? ultimately, this was one of those like original fundamentals that I definitely agree with. Like, this was good. Is there a virgin medal? No, it's called being a fucking 6-month subscriber at the Hostile broadcast. I 100 did the Soviet Union last playthrough. Nice. Is this still accurate? I'm trans. Austin can eat at Chick-fil-A. I can be a witch. Fuck leftist Twitter. This is still accurate. However many haircuts later, yes. I agree with that. Anyway. Did you see NPR is leaving Twitter over the label of state-affiliated media? Wait, what? Why? Wait, what? Wait. I don't understand that. Like, God, American exceptionalism is so fucking annoying. That's so fucking dumb. That's so dumb. NPR is leaving Twitter. That might mean some other news stories are leaving too. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to stay here and hang out with Twitter user Fetus Slayer and Zaza Ripper like God intended the site to be a place for the freaks and ghouls. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? You got labeled government funded and started crying as if that's in public record? I don't get that. I don't understand why you would be upset at that. It's the truth. NPR becomes the first major news org to stop using Twitter, saying that Elon Musk's own platform is actions that undermine our credibility. Wait, why? Wait. Whoa. Why does that undermine your credibility? Aren't you giving the game away then? You're saying that it undermines the credibility? Didn't they do this about BBC as well? This is the one right thing that Elon Musk has done in a sea of wrongs. And everyone is fucking upset. That's crazy. The BBC is funded by licenses, so it's technically not state broadcasters. It's bullshit. It is. It is operated by the state. Shut the fuck up. Same with NPR. We are not putting our journalism in platforms that have demonstrated an interest in undermining our credibility. That's crazy. They're giving the game away. They're literally giving the fucking game away. They're saying that when you get slapped with the fucking state-affiliated media, it's done specifically to undermine the credibility. NPR gets like 13% of their funding from governments. Sure, it doesn't matter. Okay, who cares? What do you mean? Who cares? They're still absolutely state media. NPR is state media. BBC is state media. There's nothing wrong with openly stating that they're state media. They're editorially independent. That is a laughable notion. They are not editorially independent. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Brother, private institutions are not editorially independent as it pertains to basically fucking following the State Department propaganda. What do you mean? Are you a baby? Are you a baby leftist? Have you never like thought about this? Like, what are you talking about? No, come on. Please think about it. Check their tweet because you're currently taking an L. They didn't say they're leaving. Okay, but they did fucking post this. What are you talking about? You're equating them to places like RT that's state funded? Yeah. I am. They are state funded. They are absolutely state funded. What do you mean? They are NPR state media, just like RT is. They might be less unhinged when it comes to propaganda in comparison to RT. Russia Today's ideological underpinnings are inconsistent. It's just like fuck the West and whatever sticks type shit. Okay. Like on one broadcast, they'll talk about how like America is imperialist, and on the next one, they'll talk about how America is homosexual and degenerate. But as far as like being state funded slash being state media, it's true. It's just that you are conditioned not to think. And I say this as someone who listens to NPR every fucking morning, every goddamn morning. I listen to NPR more than you. I read NPR more than you. Okay, I'm telling you right now. NPR, without a fucking shadow of doubt, without a shred of doubt in my mind, is state media. And BBC is as well. The only reason why you don't feel that way is because it's on the West. So you think like, oh no, Al Jazeera is state media as well. NPR is stepping away from Twitter, and this includes the NPR Politics feed. Please read the thread to find other ways to find our work. What the fuck? NPR's actual government-funded media account follows me? That's crazy. I would ask you to read the actual definition if you click the label. It's an attack, in my opinion. About government and state-affiliated media accounts and labeled on Twitter. How government accounts are defined. State-affiliated media is defined as outlets where the state exercises control over editorial content through financial resources, direct or indirect political pressures, or control over production and distribution. Is true. How publicly funded media accounts are defined. Media organizations that receive funding from license fees. Yeah, they did this because they fucking cried about it. They made this designation because BBC and NPR probably cried about it. That's why they did it. By the way, I don't even have an issue with state media, for the record. Just remember that. I hope you understand that. I don't have an issue. I am very much fond of state media. I think state media is a necessity. I think NPR is pretty good, other than when they're talking about America's foreign interests, in which case they're not good. Better than others, but still not good. Okay? But yeah, but like, what do I always tell you? You have to remember what every fucking outlet's biases are. Where they lay is how their content is cut. What they choose to omit, what they choose to talk about is absolutely relevant to their funding mechanism and why they exist. Voice of America's actual state media as a radio-free entities, but NPR is federally supported, not federally run, just like PBS. Yeah. PBS is another great example of this. But it doesn't matter. They still have state affiliations. I would consider them state media. Voice of America is like direct propaganda, direct CIA propaganda. Radio-free iterations are direct CIA propaganda. NPR is more akin to a BBC-style state media. I think Voice of America is better. At least I'm getting that pure CIA propaganda. Yeah. NPR is funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. What are you saying? NPR's decision to leave Twitter shows how liberals have the same stupid reactionary tendencies as the right on culture war shit and how American liberals completely lost faith in state institutions to be forces for good. Yeah. It's a unique predicament that I'm in when I'm covering the story because I don't think that there's anything wrong with state media or having a designation of state media. But because everyone receives state media with the intended liberal purpose of like slander, like a slur, they see it as a pejorative, they are getting very angry over this designation being slapped on NPR or the BBC. Okay? If you think that the BBC, in and of itself, does not have the same motivations to oftentimes churn out whatever kind of State Department propaganda is coming down, is basically being disseminated through every other outlet, including the supposedly quote-unquote independent media outlets, I don't know what to tell you. I have had this conversation so many times. It's like funny to have it over and over again, but I guess, you know, that is the nature of the Hasanabi broadcast. Dude, even I got heated the way you put it, and I agreed with you beforehand. When you look to state media that is like completely funded, okay, like Al Jazeera, for example, I've said this so many times, don't expect them to be honest about issues that pertain to Qatar and the national interests that Qatar has, right? They're great when it comes to talking about like Palestine. They're great when it comes to talking about like America, European countries, all that sort of stuff. But if you expect them to give you, honest information about what's going on in Qatar, it's not going to happen. They're state media. The same principle applies, in my opinion, to the BBC and to NPR and to PBS. As far as biases between CNN and NPR goes, I think, given how fucking corruptible CNN is, NPR is better. I think state media is literally still better. Yeah. Chash, go see how the invasion of Iraq was covered by the BBC and NPR. Exactly. Why the fuck do you think so many people mistrust media in general? They do that because they showed their asses during the invasion, okay? They showed why they are technically state media. The label makes the average Joe less willing to trust NPR over CNN. Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about the truth. And NPR in and of itself is, I think it's valid to consider NPR and BBC and PBS to be state media or state-affiliated media, and or whatever you want to fucking call it. Doesn't matter, okay? Just like the Chinese media apparatus, just like the Russia Today accounts, they are better outlets than the Russia Today accounts, of course. They're significantly better than even private media, but it doesn't matter. It's still the truth. Does that make sense? Democracy Now! Is entirely, I think it's a 501c3. Actually, not even, I think they are a 501c3. They're just entirely funded by donations. Who funds Democracy Now! I do. I have in the past. All this change serves to accomplish legitimate state media that is actually controlled by the state. Yeah, I don't know. Anarchid X, thank you for the 5 subs. Faustini, the fact that you compared NPR and BBC to RT just tells you that you view everything not through a socialist prism, but through a warped anti-imperialist American view that you formed entirely on what you lived through in 2003. The world has changed. Thank you for the $3 donation, the Faustini. I don't know why you just didn't write that in the chat. I would have fucking seen your annoying take in the chat regardless and would have responded to you. I don't know if you're banned or not. But for the record, I don't know if you heard that while you were like feverishly typing that donation out or not, but I already told you I prefer the commentary and the editorial independence in comparison to Russia Today in NPR. I would much rather look at NPR than I would look at Russia Today, unless I'm trying to understand what the next line of attack from the Russian state is supposed to be, what their Western focused propaganda looks like. That is the only purpose that RT serves, and it doesn't even serve that good of a purpose in general. What I'm talking about simply is the truth behind the matter. But I also don't even think that being a state media broadcaster is a bad thing. You think that. Because you think that it's only America's enemies that are state media. Only America's enemies do state propaganda. Liberals get triggered by this because they're ultimately capitalist. And this is inherently an anti-capitalist subject. So any kind of like, oh, you banned him, that's why? Okay, let's unban him. Well, that's what the West has been conditioned to think, that state media is bad, and in fact, it's communism. Yeah, state media is kind of socialist, and I don't have an issue with it. How about that? That's my perspective on it. Anyway, I worked at NPR affiliate station. Anyone who was listening enough knows anytime they talk foreign policy, it is 100% state slanted, especially with who their guests are on those issues, usually current or former state employees. Smile. Ding, ding, ding. Same goes for private media entities in the United States of America as well. But again, correct. It's a distinction that frustrates people, but it's ultimately still correct. This reaction is very stupid. They should not do this. This is a dumb reaction, in my opinion. Is there... Oh, here, the BBC. Elon Musk tells BBC about painful Twitter takeover and exclusive interview. We're going to start with this. I'm going to go pee real quick.
Let's get down to business, and we start with the exclusive interview
I'll be
that
back in
took
a
place
second.
in San Francisco between Elon Musk and our technology correspondent, James Clayton. It is one of his first interviews since he bought Twitter for $44 billion. He defended his decision to lay off a massive number of staff, saying that Twitter only had 4 months to live unless drastic measures were taken.
In rough numbers, revenue dropped from 4.5 billion to 3, and expenses went from 4.5 to 6, creating a $3 billion negative cash flow situation, and Twitter having $1 billion in the bank. That's 4 months to live. So unless drastic action is taken immediately, this company is going to die and be owned by banks.
Let's talk about that drastic action, because almost immediately you sacked a lot of Twitter workers.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them. It was very easy to speak to them when it happened. And the way they said, pretty much everyone said, is that it felt quite haphazard.
It was.
And it felt a little bit uncaring.
I would say uncaring. The issue is like the company's either going to go bankrupt, or if we do not cut costs immediately, this is not a caring, uncaring situation. It's like if the whole ship sinks, nobody's got a job.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just lost their jobs like that. They didn't even know they'd lost their jobs often. They were just frozen out of their accounts.
What would you do?
Well, you might want to give someone some notice. I mean, you might. By the way, I'm not running Twitter, but, this is the criticism, and this is what staff members say. A little bit of notice,
No, I understand. You have 4 months to live. 120 days. In 120 days, you're dead. So what do you want to do?
How much are you worth?
I don't know.
But I mean, we're talking about around $200 billion mark. I mean, it's not quite. You're framing it in a way that it had a few months to live.
I already don't like what's going on here. What the fuck's happening? Did this guy get owned by Elon Musk? Is this controlled opposition? What the fuck is this? You should never, under any circumstance, get owned by Elon Musk. It should be illegal to be owned by Elon Musk. You did not own him, and he got owned by him? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God, that's so bad. I hate that.
You're quite a rich man.
I sold a lot of Tesla stock to close the deal. I did not want to sell the Tesla stock.
In what was quite a lengthy interview, Elon Musk also said he is confident that the social media platform Twitter will become profitable again and advertisers will return. Let's have a listen to this.
In terms of advertising, obviously, Twitter's not a private company anymore, so we don't really know how it's all going. Have all the advertisers come back?
Not all, but most.
And
you can see it for yourself on Twitter, even in the For You feed.
Yeah, no, totally. That's why I keep getting fucking like Matt Walsh ads or ads about some fucking Jesus movie. That's bullshit. But he can lie about it because it's a private company. Who's gonna fucking check him? Wow, someone should really tell Elon Musk that he's lying about his company. Like, yeah, of course.
Right.
I mean, in the
following feed.
Don't use For You because it sucks.
Right.
Filled with hate speech, I'm told.
That's not what I said.
Okay, fine. Well, why don't you use For You? What's wrong with it?
How is it going? Is Twitter in profit now?
No, Twitter is rough. I'd say we're rough.
This guy already is just the worst interviewer of all time. Elon Musk is here because he knows very well. Elon Musk is here with a different purpose than this guy is. When you're going to interview someone like this who loves right-winger content, who like is, a right-winger himself, he's coming at it to look like Jordan Peterson, okay? He's not there to have like an actual interview. He's there to avoid the top of the hour ad breaks, which come at the top of every hour, and he is ready. He is already subscribed, which is the best way to avoid the top of the hour ad breaks. He is subscribed for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or he has gotten gifted a sub. Those are the ways to avoid the top of the hour ad breaks. Okay? Here's the thermodynamic right now. He's glazing up the interview because he knows it was a softball. Yeah. I do say that in the interview, I have a lot of respect for the BBC. Not organization is perfect, of course, but the BBC overall quite good. Yeah, of course he's fucking glazing the BBC. They sucked them.
Roughly break even at this point.
And I think you've said before, you see a world where you could be in profit. Is there a timeline on that, do you think?
I mean, depending on how things go, if current trends continue, I think we could be profitable, or, I mean, I say, to be more precise, we could be cash flow positive this quarter if things keep going well.
This quarter, as soon as that.
Fucking cap, brother. What the fuck? That's insane. Bro. If you fucking ask that, you better have some goddamn follow-up to be like, all of these advertisers have pulled. Like, you're a journalist. You could go to the advertisers and ask. OMD, for example, or Ogilvy, or any number of like major ad companies, whether or not they have stood by their original take that they were pulling their ads out of Twitter. You can come to this interview with armed with the answers. You can turn around and go, well, here, as journalists, we did our fucking jobs, and we went to some of your top sponsors, top advertisement buyers, right? And we asked them if they are still working, and it seems like they're still not working with you guys. So what do you have to say to that? How have you made up the lack of revenue from all of these major companies that have said that they're pulling out of Twitter? Okay? How have you made up that revenue? How? Especially because Elon Musk is like a known con man. He does this all the time. He's like, self-driving cars are coming. Oh, COVID is ending in like a week. M. Hunt says, I've manually blocked every promoted tweet for 6 years and I don't see any lately. Holy fuck. Elon Musk is going to go into your account and fucking unscrew that so you are forced to see all the promoted tweets and they go fucking crazy. No, you can't do that. For the record, this is not just Elon Musk. Most CEOs are trained to be this way. They're trained to defend the company, and for that purpose, they will lie. So you should have this level of preparation, and you should have this level of training before you cover any CEO of any corporation.
Possibly, yeah.
Wow. And do you have a message for the advertiser? I mean, can you say which advertisers haven't come back?
I think almost all of them have either come back or...
Elon doesn't lie, though. Yeah, no, you're right. Elon has never lied. Battery swaps are happening currently. The Tesla truck the Cybertruck is in full-blown production. Everyone's driving around with it. Everyone's driving around with the Roadsters that are mass consumers. This is a big banger.
Or maybe if you
everyone is driving their self-driving cars, which is pretty cool. We're on Mars. There's a boring tunnel in Los Angeles now, which has greatly reduced traffic. The Hyperloop is real. I mean, it's all... COVID was over 2 weeks after he said COVID will be over in 2 weeks. It was crazy when it ended in April 2020. I mean, Tesla did secure funding and actually went private at 420. And that the diver in Thailand was actually indeed a pedophile. And all of that stuff worked out. Neuralink is super successful and totally not killing every monkey that's been tested on, so much so that like the ethics committee had to put an end to some of the Neuralink tests because of just like the insane cruelty that it was insane cruelty that it. Wait, what?
I guess we're up early.
What is this?
Deliver a self-driving car in a year.
Yeah.
Still isn't close.
Tesla car next year will probably be 90% capable of autopilot. Like, so 90% of your miles could be on autopilot. Probably only a month away from having autonomous driving, at least